Truthfully, I'm glad we're talking today and not Tuesday or Wednesday. I wasn't real happy with the way we practiced either day, and that concerns me greatly with just where we are as a team and our maturity. And I think handling both successes and failures can both be your enemy and your challenge. And I'm curious to see how our kids will respond. This Saturday. Today was a much better day. It's our home opener, which we're always excited about to get to play here on the mountain, and it's got to be a special place. And we have to have a great desire and determination to do well when we get to play at home. So excited about that, pleased with the way today went, but obviously concerned about a very athletic FIU team that has our respect, and a bit the unknown is concerning to a coach. We don't like operating in those realms very much. So it's kind of the way I feel right now.
All right, we'll take questions for Coach Freeze. If you have a question, use the raise hand option to let us know, and then we'll come to you. First question from Emily Austin at Flame Central.
Hey, Coach, after Saturday's game, you just mentioned that Malik had a few mistakes that he needed to correct and was a little inconsistent. Him specifically, how do you think he's responded and what he's focused and worked on this week?
I thought he looked good today. Tuesday and Wednesday, again, there's still a lot of areas that, Malik, I think, is just he needs reps, and he needs to see the different possible looks that he's going to see. And, by the end of the game week, hopefully he's making the right decisions. He definitely did much better today than Tuesday and Wednesday. So we hope, we got one more chance to correct anything that we see on film today that we didn't like. But here's the deal with Malik. He will be up here on his own today. You don't have to ask him, trying to get his best understanding of the game plan. He wants to do well. So I know he'll be in here shortly after his classes, and he'll be wanting to watch the film and see himself what he needs to improve on.
Next question comes from Jermaine Farrell at FXR in Roanoke.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing, sir?
Good. You finally gave us a little love this week, man. Thank you, buddy.
Hey, we give it every week. We're equal opportunity station.
I got you, man. Thank you.
Good deal. Obviously, this is your home opener, but you're playing 3 straight home games. I know it's great, it's so big, and I know it's important to home field. But in your career, have you ever been in a situation where you had 3 straight home games? What's the most home games you've played in a row?
Man, that would be a question for these SIDs. My mind just doesn't register that. I don't remember anything off the top of my head like that, but I'm certainly not going to say in my 27 years that I hadn't had one. So I don't remember that, but, man, I love it. I love the fact that we get to stay at home 3 straight weeks. Obviously, that means we're going to do some traveling later on, but, we got a chance. Reality is this. I think we have a chance to win all 3 games that we have at home before we go back on the road. That certainly doesn't mean that we will. You got to prove yourself every single day and every single Saturday. And I believe this is the toughest football schedule that Liberty has ever had. I believe that. Obviously it's only our second full year in FBS, but you got 3 Power 5 programs, a team that's picked to possibly win Conference USA and Western. FIU and Southern Miss, from top to bottom, are going to have 85-man rosters that are very, very good Group of 5 rosters. And plus I don't know, Coastal's undefeated right now. I think the whole schedule is probably the toughest schedule that Liberty's ever had, and you have to prove yourself every single week. And football games are hard to win, and I'm glad that we have 3 home games that I think we have a shot to win. Again, I have no idea if we will, but that's exciting to know that.
Next up, go to John Manson from A Sea of Red.
Hey, Coach, some of the players talked this week about you guys taking 3 days off, I guess 2 weeks ago now, leading into the Western Kentucky game. We could just kind of sit and dialogue about some of the things going on in our country. What was your thought behind letting them have that time off to just take away from the practice field to talk about these issues, especially at such what seems to be such a critical time going into a season?
Well, I believe that football teams, the best ones are families, and I've never been, my family or any families I know have never, had something that didn't come up that's an issue for families, and you don't always agree on things, and and everybody has a different perspective, and everybody has a different thought on something, and so I think of these young men and our staff here at Liberty as we're family. We all come from different backgrounds, different beliefs, different cultures, different religious affiliations. We're all different, but yet we're thrown together, and we're to be a family. And I've always believed that a football team, at least one of my desires for the team here would be that we would be an example to the world of what it should look like to handle issues that are going on in our world and within our family. And we're certainly not perfect at that, but I believe also without communication you have zero chance at building any trust or any hope of getting through difficult times. And so my whole goal with those meetings we had and stuff was just, man, open dialogue, transparent dialogues that and let's listen and let's learn, and at the end of it let's root it in love for one another, and whatever we come out of those talks with, this is what we say we believe, then it ought to be shown in our action plan. And that's really and I thought our staff, black, white, whatever colors we are, I thought, man, they were awesome at being just transparent and telling stories of how they've arrived at where they are and what their foundational belief is. And we try to root everything in Scripture. And for us, I tell them all, here's my I'll get in any ditch with any player and fight a battle if you're one of mine, as long as, number one, we can honor God in the way we do it, honor our school in the way we do it, even if it challenges our school, that's fine, but we have to honor them. And thirdly, that we're unified as a team, then, man, let's go fight any battle that we need. And certainly our nation now needs, we need some more compassion for each other, some more care for each other, and hopefully our football team can be an example of that.
Next question comes from Ed Lane, Fast Lane on CBS Sports Radio.
Coach, I'll build off of John Manson, but not this question. He had an interesting article earlier this week on FIU, and just the high number of grad transfer and transfer players that have come into Butch Davis's program. How much more challenging is that this year, not just studying a team like FIU and roster uncertainty for every program, but you factor in grad transfer players from different programs and what their role will be with a team like that. How do you go about game planning for that without losing sight of just doing what you guys do well?
Very difficult. That's why I'm probably on the edge a bit this week, and I don't like feeling that I'm not prepared for personnel. For last week, we had plenty of tape on Western, and we better have a plan for number 10, or he's going to wreck us in certain situations. And I thought we came up with a great plan. I think our coaches do a good job with that. Well, you look at their transfers that they've had, some of which I'm familiar with. I recruited a couple of them. And Christmas Giles, from Texas. I recruited him out of Louisiana, and so he's a mature, older guy, but we have no tape on how they're using him, where they're putting him. Same thing with the linebackers and corners and receivers and running backs. It's just it makes for an uncomfortable week of preparation just because of the dynamics of the unknown. And we're going to have to be prepared to make adjustments throughout the early part of this game, I believe.
Coach, I'll ask you one, then we'll get to John again. But you'd mentioned Pickett had a little bit of an ankle or something after last week's game. How is he now? And then also just overall health-wise, is there anyone that looks like they might be doubtful this week.
Pickett looked good today in practice. I think he's good. I think we're getting Isaiah Avery back. Noah Frith, I expect to be back and play. C.J. Yarborough is a game time decision. I think that's it. Everybody else, other than obviously the ones that were, Jimmy Fox is back. Can't remember who else. Really, Tim Kidglass is kind of the only one that I think we're waiting on. Stricker's got a pulled muscle in his leg, but he's getting close to being back.
Coach, you guys are going to play with 1,000 fans on Saturday. I know we've talked about that before, but have you had discussions with your team about that, and what were those discussions about?
Yeah, that discussion was pretty simple. We don't care. We create our own energy wherever we play. Obviously, I hate it. I hate it for our fans. I hate it for our students. I think we have one of the best home field atmospheres to play in, and I miss that, and I'll miss it this year. But at no point will we cannot that can't be used as a reason we don't play well. And so all they've heard from me is it doesn't matter. It is what it is. It's what we're facing. As much as we hate that our fans can't be here with us because we love them and want them, if we're asking for them to create our energy for us, we're looking in the wrong spot to begin with. It obviously is a bonus when that can happen, but we better create our own.
Coach, as a follow-up to that, is there more to home field advantage than just the crowd?
I think so. I don't know, man. I don't know. Every game, every week's different. I get excited about going on the road sometimes because I think our focus may be a little better, and I use it too. But I love playing at home, though, because I like getting through and going home, and particularly a 1 o'clock game. If I could talk Ian into kicking it off at 10, I'd do that, or 11. But I know we got to do what's best for everybody. But there's definitely advantages afterwards because of the rest factor. You get your kids get more rest, and they need that. We're practicing in the mornings now. This is the first time I've ever done that in the season. How that translates into the rest factor and kids going to bed and all that, I don't know. So every opportunity we have to play an early home game, I think it adds to our rest bank. So, obviously there's advantages with your home crowd and stuff. We kind of lose that this year. So I don't know, man. Whichever team has the best chemistry and plays the best, if the teams are evenly matched, usually wins.
Coach, I know you talk a lot about liking to play early games at home or on the road. Other than the rest factor, is there a reason behind?
Yeah.
Is it just something that you don't like that it's on your mind all day, or?
Yeah, I mean that's just a personal preference. The way I'm made, I like to get up and go. I'm an early morning guy. I like to go. Let's get it done. I hate sitting around and waiting. I probably can talk myself into believing we're not ready the longer I sit around or something.
Yeah.
So I like to get up and get out and get going.
Gotcha.
All right, anything else here for Coach? Got a minute or two left. Jermaine, go ahead.
There you go. All right. I had to unmute myself. Rookie mistake using Emily's term there, but you mentioned that. I mean, you got a lot of power there, Coach Freeze. You could easily get a 10 o'clock game, could you? I mean, you got stroke like that.
No, I don't. There's certain things I'd probably fight hard for. That's not one of them. If Ian and the staff, administration, whatever they think's best on that, I'm good. They do a great job with that. And if I thought it would be the difference in us winning or losing, trust me, I'd tell him. But no, I don't. That's not something I want to try to fight for too hard. 1 o'clock's fine.
Overall, I mean, you're your second year at Liberty, and the way your first 2 years have started off at Liberty probably couldn't even be scripted. I mean, you look back and reflect and said, I mean, because, with your medical condition last year to start off the season, and now you have COVID, I mean, I'm sure this has just had to be just probably the craziest start to a year for a coach these first 2 years.
Yeah, it's my first 2 years here have been quite different, but quite a blessing also. And And I was in the shower. I told the team last Saturday morning, and man, I was just thinking back of what it was last year, and I don't even know if they could get me to the stadium. It was hard, and it was painful, and now to be in good health, I'm just thankful. And but it has been different. But it's been different for everybody. It's not just us. And we've been actually blessed through this too. I mean, our test results have been good to this point. You know, you look at teams like Houston and man have had 4 games canceled on them. I mean, that's discouraging, I'm sure, and difficult. And so even with the extra challenges that we've had, you know, we still see that we're very fortunate to be able to play. Number one, to be at a university that supports us and allows us to and puts resources behind what it takes to be able to play this year. And you know, so even though it's been different and challenging, I think we've all tried to look at the blessings that come from it. You do keep your fingers crossed, Jermaine, though, that, you know, I mean, it obviously could affect us at some point during this year, whether it's us, whether it's a team we play. And, you know, I'm hopeful that it doesn't, and prayerful that it doesn't, but I know that is a reality. It could.
Are you in constant contact with like the opponents on your schedule to see, like, with the following week, check to see what their situation is, or is it more of a Ian thing, or are you in contact with everybody on your schedule to say, okay, what is your situation going in?
No, I don't talk to people on our schedule unless they're, you know, I mean, obviously if I might send them a text if we know each other real well or something, and tell them to take it easy on us, something like that. But there's no communication with me and them about their test results or anything. That would all be at the administrative level. And I do ask Ian about it. You know, I kind of, you know, every time he comes around, you know, I'm like, oh man, I'm hopeful that he's just here to look and visit and be around like he always is, and not to tell me some bad news. So I'm always kind of asking him, has he heard anything from the other places? But I don't personally do that.
Did you send a text like that this week?
I did to Coach Davis and just said, man, let me know if you need anything during these crazy times, and he responded with a very nice message. And so, well, I didn't ask him anything about his test or anything like that.